With us now from Washington is John Walsh, former host of America's Most Wanted. His show profiled the cases of Amanda Berry and Gina DeJesus many times over the years. Good morning.
Good morning.
This story is just incredible. What are the odds that three women, after all these years, would be able to get free?
Haven't been able to sleep all night to get all three of them back alive. The odds are so slim to none. They're in relatively good shape. It looks like Amanda may have had a child from one of her captors, but I feel like doing cartwheels. I felt like doing it all night because these families have been desperate. They haven't given up hope. I think, I've talked to the mothers. Unfortunately, Amanda Berry's mother, not knowing what happened to her all these years, died of a heart attack, and many people say she died of a broken heart. But this is a wonderful ending to get these three women back alive.
John, what happens in a case like this? How do the kidnappers maintain control? And what's the mental submission that takes place on the part of those kidnapped?
Well, I was wondering last night, for example, how this guy could keep these women in that house without them getting away, and it looks as though that his brothers helped him do that, to beat these women down, tie them up, to threaten them, to terrify them. If you could listen to the 911 call of Amanda Berry, who is a hero here, is a real hero, to get out of that house, she was terrified. She was worried that any minute he would come back. And I've got to say one thing about Charles Ramsey, the man that walked up on that porch to help her. He said in many interviews, he said, I was a black man, it was a white woman, I thought it might be a domestic argument, maybe I'd be in the wrong place, but he had the guts to get up on that porch, break open that door, and save those lives. It's just an incredible story, and I hope those three guys that kept those women there for 10 years, they're alleged to have done that, alleged to have tied them up and held them as captives. I hope they pay big.
On the 911 call, we heard Amanda Berry identify a man who was apparently a former school bus driver. What does that tell you? It certainly sends chills up many people this morning.
Well, it tells me that he had plenty of time to scope it out, and he actually knew the DeJesus family. And, everyone has this misconception that the predator, child molester, is this terrible guy under the bridge with a trench coat on, the flashers. No, they look just like everybody else. And I've been involved in many cases where kids, boys and girls, J.C. Dugard for 18 years was kept in a backyard. These creeps function in society. They're in the house next door. They control these women and exploit these women and do whatever they do to them. And there doesn't seem to be anything out of the norm. But Amanda Berry saw her tiny window yesterday, and she screamed for help, and she was lucky. It wasn't a man who turned her back. Charles Ramsey said, I got to get involved. Up that porch he was and got her out alive.
John Walsh, thank you.
All of them alive.
Thanks, John.